Hi guys, it's Professor Grabowitz here. So based on some of the feedback that I've gotten from the class, I thought I would do a couple short videos on topics that seem confusing to you all. So the first one I wanted to talk about was some differences between DNA and RNA. So DNA is also called deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, the real name is ribonucleic acids. And these are organic compounds that are considered nucleic acid compounds. So some major differences between DNA and RNA are as follows. So based on the name, deoxyribonucleic acid, in DNA, the sugar that is used to make up this backbone piece is actually called deoxyribosugar. And then in RNA, the backbone sugar is just called ribose. Another difference between DNA and RNA is the number of strands. So if you look at the DNA, which is right here, let me get my little pen out. DNA is right here. You can see that DNA has two strands, one right here and then two. And they're connected to each other by nucleotide bases and hydrogen bonds. Okay? So these two strands make this molecule, makes DNA really large, all right? In comparison, you can see that RNA, which is right here, is a lot smaller in size. It's only one single strand. Okay? So another difference between DNA and RNA, so this is the DNA is over here. Really hard to write with this thing. DNA, and then this is going to be the RNA. So our nucleic acids are going to be made up of smaller building blocks called nucleotide bases. So in DNA, the bases that are used are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. Okay, and they're paired. So adenine is always going to pair up with thymine, and thymine is always going to pair up with adenine. Cytosine will always pair up with guanine, and guanine will always pair up with cytosine. Okay. In contrast with RNA, there's 4 bases, and most of the bases are the same, except for one. The thymine is going to be replaced with a base called uracil. So uracil will pair with the adenine, and adenine will pair with the uracil, and vice versa here. Okay. Another difference between the two is DNA is located primarily in the nucleus of our cell, and RNA can be located in the nucleus, and since it's smaller in size, it's able to leave that nucleus and also travel to the cytoplasm. And that brings us to our final difference criteria between DNA and RNA. DNA, since it stays in the nucleus, it contains all of our genetic information that's passed on to offspring. Okay? And it stays there. In contrast, the RNA uses this DNA as a template to make different proteins. And the proteins are going to be made out in that cytoplasm. And I think next week when we talk about the organelles within our cells and some different processes associated with those organelles, this will become a little more clear to you. So with DNA, in order to pass on that genetic information, our cells participate in mitosis and meiosis, and RNA can be used to make proteins in a process called transcription, and then another process called translation. So I hope this helps you out a little bit in understanding some of the differences between DNA and RNA. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any further questions about any content within the chapters.